You know what else about a pitta? Perfectionism.
I just wanted to say that I am not familiar with those terms, apita and stuff like that.
I know.
But I just wanted to say
But
that's
you're recognizing the qualities that are thrown out at you, aren't you? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know how long it's taken me not to be a perfectionist?
Oh, I'm in the process of that, letting go and.
Oh, well, let me help you. It doesn't need to be. You know, actually, there was, I went to a Tony Robbins event, right?
Oh, I love that.
Me too. It was right after I left my ex, and I was looking for a sign that I didn't just fuck up our lives royally.
Yeah.
And as soon as I walked through the door, there was Pranic Healer across like the main stage screen, and I was like, holy shit, who even knows what a Pranic Healer is, you know?
Yeah.
And that was my sign. I didn't need it anymore. But fast forwarding a few events of his, I went to Date with Destiny and got to the root cause of perfectionism.
Oh.
Yeah. So from then on, I'm like, oh, no. That's good. It's good enough. It's fine. You know, like that's, so let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. When you were a child, which parents...
When I was a child?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've got to think of this exercise. It's been a while. Yes. When you were a child, which parents' love did you crave the most? Mom or dad? Instant answer.
Dad.
Okay. And then who did you have to become in order to get his love? Fast.
I don't know. Who did I have to become?
Yeah, you know, like what would you do, like, to be all like dad, you know, like those moments, like dad, and you want those proud moments of him to come back at you, you know, like.
I cannot remember, but I already know that there has been this thing of not being good enough, you know, always, like doing more and more,
For me, it was my mom, and I had to be perfect, you know, like to be able to get what I wanted from my mom. And then, who did you become when you didn't get the love or attention that you wanted?
You know what the thing is? I don't have a lot of memories.
It's okay.
From
these are buried in your subconscious.
Yeah, I know. And during my last dieta in the jungle, this was also a subject for me, you know, in seeing the whole pattern with my dad and everything. But I know that the perfectionism came from that side, you know, and also this whole team for me in trusting myself and everything in that sense, it's come from that side as well, because I was raised with a lot of love and with a lot of protection, but also very like guarded in that sense. So if you do whatever I think is good for you, then you'll be fine, you know, but then you do not learn to trust yourself in terms of taking your own steps and doing the thing that you want to do. So now I'm like breaking out of that whole cycle.
Me too, girl. Me too.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, welcome to Divine Chaos. You guys, I'm super excited because since moving here to Panama, we all know me maybe a little bit. It's only my second episode, so let me reintroduce myself. I am Christa, and I moved here to Panama City back in December following a woo-woo map. And those that do know me know that I am woo-woo. So this map tells me that I'm going to be meeting people internationally here, and my profession is going to grow and everything along those lines. Super cool, right? Super, exactly what I want. Lo and behold, it's freaking true, right? So I'm at this networking meeting, and I meet Jennifer, okay? And let me tell you about this. Maybe you want to do it, because I thought it was super cool. I know my perspective.
Yeah.
What was your perspective like when we were going around the room and I was introducing myself?
Oh.
Like, I know how I felt when you introduced yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wonder if that all worked.
Yeah. So no, for me definitely that was a moment of recognition. Because initially I opened the room with an open heart, But as soon as some people started talking about what they were doing, I was like, I'm feeling a little bit out of place.
Right?
So, and then you started talking, and I was like, oh, I never, well, the thing, I never put the label boo boo on myself, but I think that's an American kind of thing, right?
I don't
I'm
know.
from Europe.
It's my kind of thing.
Okay, I have heard it before, so I never use that in my own wording, but yeah, when you started talking, I was like, oh, okay. But I also noticed how you were, yeah, when I was talking.
Yes, because I felt the exact same way as you did. We were walking, like, I'm like, I don't even know what the hell these people are talking about. She's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm not in my land, And then you started talking, and you're talking about women and empowerment, and I was like, oh, there's my girl. I got to talk to her. So yeah. And then I saw you do that little same jump. When I started talking, I was like, I know, girl.
Yeah.
I know. and then we haven't stopped.
No, yeah, definitely.
We kept running into each other.
Yeah.
We ran into each other at another networking
Yeah,
group.
it was like 3 days later.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal one.
Yeah, it
By
was.
far, felt way more comfortable there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just women, and even there, there was women from all different kind of backgrounds and professionalism, like businesses and stuff. So, but still, it was a very nice mingle.
It was. It was a great blend. So, Jennifer.
Yes.
One of the things that super intrigued me was the fact that you do empowerment for women and everything like that. Do you want to elaborate and share with us what exactly that looks like?
Yeah, so right now I am in I call it like my in-between space, but because of the fact that I signed out of Holland last year together with my son, we have been traveling ever since, and we arrived here in Panama, 5 weeks ago? So now I'm, starting to meet people here and starting to mingle, and so
I'm your
but
favorite, right?
yeah. So, but back in Holland, I hosted some mirror workshops with actual mirrors, where I invited women to look at themselves past the first image, past their outer appearance, and to invite them to go within and look at themselves to see what is buried there, and that has been a beautiful, like, moment where it's just beautiful to see how people, when they walk in, they're a little bit like closed off or insecure, and that you just see a shift happening within those couple of hours. And so, and then now I'm also making a 5-day activation where I just invite people to get into motion and to start them to move from fear to trust, to start to trust your inner voice, your inner wisdom. And because I think, especially as women, we tend to give so much of our own power away to other people's opinions, whether that be our friends, our parents, family, partners, stuff like that, and in that we are not honoring our own voice. And that is the only one you actually have to trust, in order, because you are the one who is making your life. So yeah.
There was something else that, well, actually, I don't want to jump that far ahead yet, because there was the mirror. I had a question about your mirror work.
Yeah.
How did you fall into mirror work?
Well, I think this is actually a bridge to what you might want to jump into, is that
we're just going where the
wind blows. Yeah. No, so my personal journey is very much about trusting myself, and I also believe that whatever you're going through, that is what becomes your own medicine, right? So I am very much involved with plant medicine, and I all of a sudden noticed that during my own ceremonies, there was always something with a mirror.
So you had mirrors?
Yeah.
Okay, I know a little bit about this, so I'm just going to say, in the jungles? You went to the jungle, right?
Yeah, I also went to the jungle, but I also did ceremonies in Holland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not in the jungle?
No, not in the jungle.
I'm not a geographic wise kind of girl, so I don't know what Holland would look like.
Holland is the Netherlands. It's just
I
like
thought Iceland had ice,
You know Amsterdam?
Yes.
Okay, so that's split.
Only because you can smoke weed.
That's how a lot of people know about Amsterdam.
I'm not a geographic wise one.
Okay.
By any means.
Okay, so
Creative. intelligence?
Europe? We can do that.
We can do what?
It's in Europe,
Okay.
yeah? So,
It's over yonder.
but okay, so the place where I have been living,
Yeah.
I have been doing ceremonies for myself.
Here?
No,
Oh, over there.
in over there.
Okay.
And I went to the jungle 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
jungle in
Tell
Peru.
us about the jungle experience.
Yeah, so in January, that was my 3rd time going to the jungle, but my first time going there all by myself.
Yeah, what did you expect? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Were there like butterflies in your
Of
stomach?
course. I mean, I think it was such a like spontaneous decision.
Yeah.
You know, I had received the calling last year already, like, hey, you know, but you can also come by yourself. I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm ready for that, you know. And then,
Was that in
yeah,
woo woo?
Yeah.
Or like, hey girl,
no, I was
I can't make it.
I was smoking my pipe. You know, when
Okay.
you do a master plan dieta, you also get a pipe to connect to your dietas and to connect to the spirits of the master plans. So, but I was not ready yet to go to the jungle by myself. And then after South Africa in December, we came back to Holland, and there was a lot going on, like old patterns, like in my face, you know, and then that same voice popped up again, like, okay, but you can come to the jungle. And I was like, I don't know, like, why, you know, I had actually planned to go later this year, maybe like in October or something. And then I spoke to a friend of mine who was going to the jungle as well, and she told me like,
Oh,
but
you're not talking this October?
yeah.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, but actually now I already went, you know. And then she told me,
October is still coming up.
yeah, I can go again, you
Yeah.
know. So, but then she told me like, but
I'm
why
like-
not? She told me like, why not? And I was like, why not?
Yeah.
So, and then I just booked a ticket, and I went. You know, so, and that did a lot, I think, also in terms of for me coming here now.
Yeah.
Because that is the funny thing, you know, when, okay, for me, I came to a certain point where I felt like, okay, Jen, you have to really take a leap of faith and jump into the unknown. And I did when I sold my house and I, you know, signed out of Holland, etc. But then I realized it is not a one-time thing. This is not, oh, you just jump once and then it's all,
done.
it's done, you know.
Glad that's over.
I felt such a clear invitation, like, okay, you know, you know what you wanted, right? Initially, remember, so okay, so jump again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does that? I don't know. That question's relevant. I say, how many times do you think you've jumped?
Oh, I don't know.
Does it get easier?
Yeah, I think, it does. It does. I think that the amount of time before you jump gets shorter.
Yeah.
So you can still get in the overwhelm and like, oh my God, and what am I gonna do, and all these things.
I
But
get
you
that.
catch yourself
You don't
like
allow
faster.
yourself that much time.
Yes.
Like, it's not that you're not allowing yourself. There's like a very, it's much faster adaptability.
Yes.
You know, like, because I experienced similar.
Yeah.
My big hella leap was leaving my husband. You know.
Yeah.
Like, I was financially secure, big time secure. You know, and everything was. We would travel 6 months out of the year. Everything was great. I had this cushy life. You know.
Yeah.
And then one night it wasn't. There was that eye-opening moment, and that's what it took. And then for me to see that I put my kid in my situation growing up as a kid, something that I swore I would never do, was like the deciding factor. Scared as shit. All I could see was nothing but black. There was no light at the end of the tunnel, but there was a knowing that it's better. It's gonna be better. It's better than this. And
Yeah.
that was the hardest leap that I had ever taken. You know, and I've lost both parents. You know, like I've gone through a variety
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
But that was the hardest. And you know what's interesting? I just did this energy session thing over the weekend, And in the instructor's story, he's like, you know, it's harder to let go of everything that you have than when you're like at the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm the complete opposite. Like, it was easier for like we share the similar story, but it's a little bit opposite.
Yeah.
You know? And it was hard for me to walk away from that. It felt like Velcro, you know, like anytime
Yeah.
like we would be near each other, and it was scarier. It wasn't scary. Well, you know what? I don't know. It was both of them are hard. You know, like
That's
when you're
the
up there,
thing.
like you're giving away.
Yeah.
Like you're stepping away from your squishy, comfortable life. Like I felt like I was in such a position where I didn't have a choice. You know, so fine, take it. Oh my God, it sucks. Like take it. You know, I'll miss driving my Lexuses, and you know, like
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine. You know, we'll be okay. But then, same thing happened in Costa Rica with me. You know, there I didn't have shit, and I never had fallen to my knees before, ever until then. You know, so because it was a different kind of look at it, but it was more of like, what else are you gonna take? You know, like I'm listening to everything that you're telling me to do. Being your good girl, you know, in this woo-woo kind of way, and it's like, what else? What else? What else? That's where I was at in that mentality. But then I found this map, this woo-woo map, and I was like, you know what? What do I have to lose?
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I was. I really like the map. I'm just saying, I really like the map. Did you look it up yet?
There are different variations, right, or not?
No, I'm sure there's different websites.
Yeah, so there is one that I have to look up the one that you sent.
It's just a Google. I don't send links because if I send you my link, it will give you my.
Oh
map.
yeah, that's what you said in the group.
And it's like that's stupid, you know.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
Google
yeah.
This and you'll get your own.
But you know what the thing is, what I don't per se like about it is that the thing that I looked up earlier this week, it told me that for my love life I need to be in Paris. I have no intention of going to Paris.
Me neither. Why is that?
I don't know. You know,
Touristy.
and I'm so far away from Paris right now. So, and how do you say that in English? So I'm from the Netherlands, so English is not my main language.
But she speaks it so well.
Thank you. I refuse to believe that I cannot meet the love of my life if I'm not in Paris.
Yeah, I would agree. But you could have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think we're destined to have multiple loves. Everybody's always so big on talking about their soulmate and stuff like that. I don't think we have a soulmate here. I think
We have soulmates, or
I think
we don't even have any.
I know.
This is
I think
interesting.
I think on the other side is where our soulmate.
Oh,
is.
I know I have one on the other side.
Right, and that's our soulmate, right? But we are.
And he is also in this physical world.
There's a possibility.
But I know he is.
But a different journey, maybe.
Exactly.
Right, and then maybe
We met.
Oh, that's so cool! Oh, I just got shivers.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you know?
Oh my God,
How did you know?
this is okay. So, how many years ago? Something like 23 years ago, I went to college.
Yeah.
It was, I think, in the first week or so, and I walked into the how do you call it? The area where you can have lunch and stuff.
Lunchroom.
Yeah, okay, lunchroom. Wow. Lunchroom. And then this guy comes walking in, and we both felt like a energetic kind of thing going on where we both were like, what was this, you know? So, I'm trying to see how I can not make this such a long story, but the main thing in our story is that the timing is always off.
Yeah.
So we are very much drawn to each other, but there is always a certain situation that makes sure that we do not really end up together, you know. And at the time he was 18, and I was 16 or something, 17, and we have dated over the years for a certain amount of time, and then it wasn't really, and then we broke up, and then we met again, and then there was another girlfriend, and then so there was always something interfering in that sense. But we always end up like checking in with each other, even if it has been maybe like 10 years or something. So then in 2021, I think it was then 10 years ago since we had seen each other. And all of a sudden I had to think about him. So I looked him up on Instagram, found him, and but the page looked inactive. So I just sent a message. I was like, well, whatever. And then he texted me back within 5 minutes. I was like, hey, So then we texted for 3 hours, and we
catch up.
Yeah, we catched up, and then I think after a couple of months we actually met, but still the circumstances were not in the right space for us to say like, okay, let's give it a try now. But we could still feel there is something here, and then a little fast forward, I was doing the ceremonies in Holland, and in every ceremony he has been like coming up, I was like, what is this? And then I came out of the ceremony, and then I had a text from him, or I sent him a text, and then he was like, oh, I was thinking about you last night as well. I was like, what is this? Then I went into my first dieta in Peru, and he was in all of the ceremonies, and I was like, what is this? Because we cannot be together. I don't know. Yeah, we have a connection, but what is the deal here? So I was actually a little bit pissed in that sense during my dieta because I didn't understand, and before I went to the jungle, I decided to let this whole thing go, to just be like, okay, we have a connection, but, And then coming back from the dieta, I started doing ceremonies just for myself, and in every ceremony I did for myself, he texted me the minute I was about to start the ceremony, even if I had not talked to him for weeks or months. I was like, what? And then, okay, there was like I don't remember when it was. There was a certain ceremony I did, and I had not heard from him a long time as well. And then by the end of the ceremony, I turned on my phone because I wanted to put on a playlist. And then I saw he texted. I was like, so I started crying, And one of my main teachers in the plant spirit world is called Noya Rao. I don't know if you ever heard about her. Doesn't matter. But I was talking to her like, what is this? Come on. I cannot. I really thought I had ended this, but, Then I heard, the two of you are connected like up there in a different realm, but not in this physical reality, So that gave me peace of mind, and it really resonated, So I left it at that. But then I did a ceremony the 13th of December. The 13th of... Do we want to tell them?
Yeah, we've definitely been up to it.
Yeah.
Say hey!
Yeah.
On your podcast.
No, it's not really. It's not.
Are you switching now so we're not in the background?
You don't want to be? It's not like famous at all.
So we did a ceremony.
Thank you.
And then as a bonus part when I thought everything was over already, the whole structure of it came to me, and I got a chance to see and feel what our story really is up there. So, yeah.
Did you tell him?
Yeah, I did.
Did he resonate?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much.
And see, that's what I mean. It's like, I think that we have that soulmate on the other side.
Oh, yeah,
and then in this lifetime, we have our lessons. We design our own path and what it is that we want to experience
Yeah.
and our soul to grow. But because we are connected, we can cross paths that way. Sometimes we will, sometimes we won't. It depends on what's set up.
Yeah, absolutely. But I truly believe there is someone for me out there in this physical.
I would agree with you too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I would say that there could be more than one. You know, like each person serves a purpose.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't trade my ex for anything, despite how we ended. You know, but
No, same.
It was a great learning experience. It was a great. Overall, it was my stepping stone for me to be able to step into who I am.
Absolutely.
Even though I don't know exactly what all that is yet. I'm just saying. I'm in the
No, but
messy middle.
it's the same way. It is the same with me, you know, and so I wouldn't trade him for anything.
Yeah.
But
ending, you know.
yeah, but I also
still.
feel that you know, I am also in that phase now where I would love to meet someone and just like be with that same person for like.
You know, I get stuck on that a little bit because
Yeah.
I'm like, I do want. I don't know. I finally got to the point where it's 2021. My divorce ended, and that's
Yeah.
when I moved to Costa Rica. And I did fool around like during the divorce time because it was 3 years divorce, you know. And I found out that I was actually discovering what characteristic was important to me. You know, because here's my husband. You know, he had done everything for me. You know, he was that one person. So I started like this guy. He provided security, but that was it for out of that relationship. You know, this guy, there's laughter, but there wasn't so much security, financial security. This guy, he did, you know what I mean? Like I was finding stuff like that out, and I was like, okay, security's not important. That was not important. The laughter thing is very important. I don't care if we're broke as hell. You know, laughter is necessary. Laughter
Absolutely.
is healing. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, but since moving to Costa Rica, there has been absolutely no desire to be with anybody, you know, whatsoever. And then now it's been, what is it, 2025? Did I say that right? 2025?
Yeah.
I don't know, time's an illusion.
Yeah, I know.
And I just had my first itch. Like an itch, you know, like, oh!
And who sparked the itch?
Doesn't matter. It's not even an important itch or anything like that. But it was the fact that the itch happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't see it going any further. Who knows? I don't know. I play day by day. But when I was 18, this psychic once told me because she told me my marriage wasn't gonna because I was already married.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was just getting married and. I was that little kid. I was like, are we gonna last together forever? And she's like, no, not everybody's meant to be together forever.
Yeah.
And I automatically was like, well, I'll prove you wrong. You know?
Yeah.
That wasn't the brightest, but I ended up. She mentioned who I would be with, and so now I have that image in my head, and I feel like I would be discounting some possibilities in between. Like maybe it isn't supposed to happen. Like maybe I'm not supposed to meet him until years from now, you know? So why would I not allow this to happen here? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know? But then at the same time, I feel like I'm in a space where I'm meant to meet him now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of holding out for that big teddy bear that's blonde. That big teddy bear that's a blonde. You know, that's what she said.
Yeah.
That's all she said about her. She's like, he's a big teddy bear, and he's blonde. You know? And then most men my age they have no hair, or you know, so that would be an easy giveaway. Or they're gray, salt, pepper. Whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I always wanted a big man. My ex
Same.
was like the same size as me, a few inches taller. He was a pitta. Pittas, Ayurvedically speaking,
Yeah.
you know, pitta is like the fire. It's the fire element with some water. And they are the medium size when you look at somebody.
Okay.
Like I can look at every single person here and tell you what they are. But pittas are the medium size of everything. They have a medium nose. They have the deep set eyes. They will never grow taller than like 5'4". 5'4", 5'6", you know, so we're around there. They're medium, you know, and they generally look the same as a child until they're adult, like their older years.
Yeah.
Except for the men, they get their beer belly,
Okay.
you know, and they have a tendency to gray early. Me, I'm not graying because I have a kappa head of hair. Kappa's your earth and water, and we have the thickest of all hair, you know. And my kid has my hair, and he's all like, "Mom, why'd you do this to me?" You know, and like we sweat. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm still sweating. You're fine. You've cooled down.
Yeah.
I'm fine temperature-wise, but I'm still sweating. This never leaves. That's Cabo.
Yeah.
That's where my kid gets all frustrated. He's like, "Mom, it's horrible." I was like, "I know. I know."
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Ah, okay.
So, yeah. That's cool. That's cool, though. I love how you already, like, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we play a game?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. So show me what you got.
All right. All right. Dun, 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 dun. I made this the other day. I call it the Wheel of Chaos. Dun, dun. All right, my friend. Well, you can tap it, you can spin it, you can do whatever, but then you have like, I know, isn't that fine? So, what's your question? What's your question? If you could swipe left, or if you could. All right, Mr. Nandar. If it's not for me, by the way, it's for everybody else. My stuff's paid. If you could swipe, I don't like the word swipe in there. If you could switch lives with a person for one day, who would it be?
Ooh.
I thought it was a different song.
Oh.
Yeah. We want to make these answers quick, like impulsive.
I'm not good with that. Is that also, what is it called? A pitta? Is that also something?
Pitta likes to think. They overthink. They don't. It's not like a worry thing. It's an intellectual thinking.
Yeah.
You know, they like to have all the information.
Yeah.
And they're intelligent. They're the leaders. They're usually the bosses, the managers, the business owners.
That was also the night before.
They're good at.
Yeah, I am not.
structuring.
I'm not good with these kind of.
All right, spin it again.
Okay.
Then.
Okay.
All right, this would be easy. Have you ever had a paranormal experience? Yes or no?
Yes.
You can share.
Well, you know, my brain goes like, okay, paranormal. Like, what are we covering here? You know, but
Woo woo.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, just for the fact that. You know, the whole plant medicine world, people who don't know that will think it is a whole lot of woo.
You know what? You are absolutely right. The first networking night that I had, it was here.
Yeah.
And I met a guy who does I'm going to chop up the name, ayahuasca.
Yeah.
And when he said that he does it, I was excited because I'm an herbalist.
Yeah.
You know? So plant medicine is awesome. And it's another way to tap into a way of healing in my mind.
Yeah.
So I was excited when he said that, and I automatically started a conversation around a table of everybody. And he came up to me afterwards and he's like, thank you. And I was like, for what? He's like, thank you for like seeing me that way. He's like, so many people have blocked me because of the fact that I do this, and I was like, it blew my mind. I was like, why? But that just shows you how closed off people are. And then if that's you, turn the channel.
No, true. But I also think people don't know what it is. And then I don't know about, in the States or something, but in Holland, sometimes when it gets into the media, it's always surrounded by a negative thing. So automatically people associate it with something that's bad.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, your paranormal experience. Oh, would you say it was from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are moments which you can, like, skill into that. But maybe even...
No,
what is paranormal for you? Because these are wordings that I don't use.
My experience.
Yeah.
Okay? So when I have a few, but most of them is just like walking in. Like I've gone on ghost tours, you know, and I walk into a place and I can feel the stuff, right? But that's not my woo-woo. When my kid was, he was like 1 or 2. I think he was like right at that cusp, you know, of turning 1 or 2. And I was getting ready for work. And when I would get ready for work, I would get him up first, you know, and then get him situation and give him his breakfast and get him in front of, what was it back then? Like Dragon Tales.
Oh, okay,
cartoon, right?
Yeah.
And then I would go get myself ready. I gotta take my shower first, then go do that. And
Yeah.
God, it was like forever ago.
Yeah.
And so now I'm at the point where he's out there, he's doing his thing, and now I'm back finishing up in my room. And he comes waddling in, and he's like, "Your mommy's here." And I'm like, "What?" "Your mommy's here." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Your mom's here." You know, he didn't say mine. "Your mommy's here."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I didn't know what to say. I was just like, well, tell her I say hi.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say, you know?
Yeah.
Because my mom had already been passed. She passed when I was 20. I had him, so I would have been 25, 24, 25 by then, you know? And the thing that got me was, like, I had a picture of her, you know, and I would always pass the pictures, you know, like when they were young like that. I would be like, okay, and this is Grandma Sue. You know, he was way too young to understand the whole generational thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was caught off guard. I was totally caught off guard. I didn't know what to say, nothing. So I tell her I say hello. Later that day, I'm talking to my mom's best friend. She's like my aunt. She's like a mom for me. You know, we were together when my mom died, and you know, awesome. And she had recently lost her sister, and she was like, "Did you show him a picture? And you know, like, is this what you saw?" And like totally grill him. And I was like, "No, I had to go to work. I had real life, right, to live." And so after I do my real life stuff, you know, get him from daycare, and when we get back home, I showed him the picture of Grandma Sue, and I was like, "Who is this?" And he's like, "That's your mommy." And I was like, "No shit. So all I could say was, I'm glad you got an opportunity to meet her, you know, because she would have spoiled the shit out of her, you know?
Yeah.
Like, my dad tried to, like, my dad was old school, born in, like, 41.
Yeah.
You know, so he did the best his farm boy growing up as the oldest child could do, you know, and it was cool to see him get excited for certain things.
Yeah.
And whatnot, but and he tried to spoil, but financially it wasn't so woo-woo. Everybody's freaking messaging. Okay, so yeah, moving on.
Okay.
So do you have one of those?
No, not something like that.
Okay, that's okay. Let's spin it.
Yeah.
If you could instantly master one skill, this should be easy. What would it be? What were we just talking about? It is in their skills.
Oh,
It can be anything.
yeah, just to easen up my perfectionism.
Stick with me, girl. I'll show you. Somebody another pit-eye.
Yeah.
She is total pit-eye. We were talking about the podcast and something like that. And so she was like, oh, and you could do this and this and this and that. I was like, yeah. Here's the thing that I've learned. If I wait till I know everything about something, I'll never do it. I'm doing it one step at a time and learning as I go.
But that is the thing.
It's the imperfection in the perfection, you know, or flip-flop that, I don't know, I'm a little dyslexic, so whatever, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing, because I think in certain areas of my life, that is the way I move around, you know, I just take one step at a time and let things unfold. You know, I think the other day I was talking with you about the fact how important it is for people to trust themselves enough to actually live inside of the question, you know, instead of always knowing the next step. But then, for example, in terms of this mirror workshop, when we had the event, it came to mind where I was like, maybe it's nice to do a mirror workshop here in Panama. But then I felt instantly like, oh my God, I cannot, because in Holland I had everything like set up beautifully. I made party favors, and I had like it was beautifully organized. And here I don't have anything.
Hello. Do you not see my studio right now? How much chaos did we go through? Just
No,
setting
so
this shit
yeah,
up?
yeah. So, but that is the thing with me, So in that sense, I have a certain perfectionism where I'm like, I'm trying to find the balance in it,
Yeah.
where I also do not want to put it all overboard, because it's also a part of who I am. I like things to look beautiful and orderly, and I like to put a little extra love in it, and do a little like something, like a notebook with everyone's personal name on it or stuff like that. That's just also who I am.
I get that too.
Yeah.
I get it too.
Yeah.
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 It's more of like, for me, it's when I start to notice that I'm not moving forward because of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, all right.
Yeah.
It's good as it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My turn to spin. What is the weirdest food you've ever eaten while traveling? I've tried this one. I don't think I've ever eaten anything crazy. I've eaten turtle. I don't think that's weird. Alligator. What have you? You've been in other... Where are all the countries that you've been to? Because you were traveling quite a bit.
Yeah, for now, since we left Holland, we've been to the United States. We did like a whole road trip kind of thing over there.
It's just a fun... I miss road trips.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Sometimes just like, well, first we flew to New York. We were there for a week. And then we flew to San Francisco. We were there for a couple of days, picked up the car.
One end to the other.
Yeah, and then from San Francisco, we started driving. And
Did you go up the Pacific Coast?
no, we
Pacific
didn't. No, we
Highway?
went. We did a little part, I think. But there was something with what is the name of that bridge? It collapsed.
San Francisco?
Yeah, so
the Golden Gate.
No. Yeah, the Golden Gate. We saw it, but we drove down from.
I have no idea. I'm a Chicagoan.
Okay. Yeah, we also.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah. No, but we did like LA, Las Vegas, Grand Canyon, Sedona, Monument Valley, Route 66. Yeah, all those things. So it was.
Mount Rushmore.
No, I don't think we went
Rushmore's
there.
not over there. It's just the Grand Canyon. I'm thinking because I did that, gosh, eons ago. My kid was only 2.
Oh yeah, Zion. Zion?
My kid?
No, the park.
The park?
National Park.
I'm.
Oh.
My kid's a geographic one. You'd have to ask him.
Oh, okay.
I'm along for the ride.
But it was amazing.
Yeah.
We saw Mexico.
You know that in Sedona, that is like an energetic vortex there?
Yeah.
Did you go do anything super cool for it?
It was hot.
Yeah.
It was
dry heat, though.
so hot. My son was like, "Mommy, we're burning alive here." It was not fun. It was so hot.
That's extreme.
So I was talking to the other woman that was also in the event. She is from Arizona, and I was talking with her about Sedona, and I told her I have to go back there. It was so.
I want to too. It came up twice.
Yeah.
And it keeps coming up more and more.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, even like driving in there, I felt like, wow, it was very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The food. So what's the food?
I'm not about crazy food.
Yeah, me neither.
No. I've been to China before. I'm wondering if it's maybe something I ate there. No.
I
No.
wouldn't. Okay, let's skip that one. I just want to spin. Would you rather explore the deep ocean or outer space?
Ooh. Well, my first thing was deep seas, deep ocean. So I don't know why.
You want to go there or no?
Yeah, that was my first.
Yeah, like there's not
But
much
both
out
are-
in space. There's way more in the ocean.
Yeah.
That would be, yeah. I think it would be more intense in the ocean.
I think so too.
Unless you could throw in some planets. You know, maybe the moon.
That would be different. Yeah.
Alright, one more. Make it a good one. Have you ever hitchhiked in a foreign country?
Okay, tell me, what is hitchhike? Hitchhiked.
It means have you, like if you're walking along
Yeah.
and you need a ride, stick out your thumb
Oh
and
no.
get a ride?
No.
Oh, I totally did. I did this a lot in Costa Rica.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot. But no, I learned after 3 times. I'm not fucking doing that anymore.
Yeah. No. That is
Because I
not.
don't end up where I'm supposed to go. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah. No, this is not my kind of thing.
Yeah, it wasn't mine either. But everybody does it. And I'm just like, it's against everything that I've ever learned. But it's okay. Everything will be okay.
Yeah. No.
But one time, I got pissed. I ended up getting pissed because this guy, I didn't realize until I got in the car, he had been drinking. And it was like, I had just gotten done teaching English to some kids, and I'm waiting for the bus to come and take me home. And he picks me up, and I was like, no. And then he's like, yeah, I'll give you the ride. You don't want to be in our podcast, but I'll be in your photo. Swell girl. All right. Yeah, he had been drinking. He started hitting on me and just like his hand would cross over to my leg and I'd smack it off and I started I ended up having to grab the wheel to get him to not hit a lady walker on the side of the road. I was flipping, you know, and I made a pull over and I'm like, get me out. And then it came back to bite me in the butt. It's not that it came back to bite me in the butt. It turns out that he was talking shit to one of my neighbors. Like I think he might work with him or something. But it came back to me through another neighbor who, they're all family. They're like, Christa, I think he's talking about you. And I was like, well, what? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a hermit at my house, you know. I don't do anything, you know. And sure as shit, she's telling me this story. And I was like, well, it sounds similar to mine. But it didn't exactly go like that, you know. Mine was like this. And she's like, he's talking about you. And I'm like, well, that's not exactly how that went, you know. Like, and he was being that, you know, that.
Yeah.
So the next thing I know, they have me going down to the police station and filing reports and stuff like that. And then it was going to be like a few-year process. And I was like, I'm not going to be here that much longer. So I'm sorry, ladies, I can't help you out.
Yeah.
So I haven't hitchhiked since. You know? Just like, yeah, I'm done. Been there, done that. I can say I did it. You want to do it one more? Would you rather travel to the past or the future?
Future.
Me too. Why?
I know the past already, you know, and I don't have any regrets in terms of things that I did.
Even if you did, you can't really change it.
No, yeah, but that's the thing as well, you know, that's what I wanted to say, like, you know, the past, I mean, I think for most people, there is always something where you feel like, you know, it would have been nice if something was a little bit different, but I also know that everything that is in my past has been shaping me to the point where I am now, you know, so, you know, yeah.
I agree with you 100%.
So let me travel to the past, to the future.
Yeah, I want to see all this shit that I'm going through freaking pay off. You know, that's what I wanted. I thought about that when I was creating the question. I was like,
Yeah.
All right, let's go back here. I want to see. Well, all I have left is wrap up. Oh, is there anything that you would like I'm not phrasing it correctly. Like advice. Like what advice would you give the listeners? For
about moving through chaos. We're kind of settled. Yeah, we need to bring this to an end.
Okay, so one more time. An advice for moving through chaos?
Yeah, like when you come across that moment in time and you're like,
shit is hitting the fan, What do you do?
Well, I think the main thing for me is to just breathe. Just to ground yourself in the present moment. I mean, I heard one time this thing where the guy was saying, we all know about oratives, all 6 of us know the importance about
don't cut yourself short.
the importance of breathing, and then how breathing is bringing you back to the present moment, because you cannot breathe in the past,
right?
And you cannot breathe in the future. You can only breathe in the now, so that would be like a first thing. And then at the same time, what I always tell myself, or have to remember myself, is that everything in life is happening for me and not against me.
Tony Robbins says that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that is such an important thing.
It
we
is.
can easily get up and oh my god, why is this happening?
Yeah.
But there is probably something there,
There absolutely is.
Yeah, and it can be.
And same thing with breath. Breath is the now. It's the only time, like when I like meditation. Everybody's all like, I can meditate. I'm like, listen, you don't have to clear everything from your mind. Just put your focus on your breath.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would focus on this piece right here, right here.
Yeah.
And in meditation, she would always be like, focus on that space between your nostrils, and you'd watch the breath go in and you watch the breath go out. But focusing on your breath is the actual present moment. Ayurveda,
Yeah.
pranayama.
Yeah.
Is my jam. But anyway, it's getting hot in here.
Yeah.
It's still hot in here. I would absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
that's very great advice. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is there anything else you would like to say?
In my notes.
Yeah. How far along are we actually? I think we can talk for hours.
All right. Well, we can.
We should
But
do
we're
this again
doing-
sometime.
We're on. Like,
Oh.
we nailed it.
Yeah. Oh.
Just don't do it.
You can use your editing skills.
Yeah. I'll put in a glitch thing right there. You guys need to All right. I think the last thing is, so how can people reach out to you? How can they connect with you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram. My name on Instagram is Jakon Rama.
You know what?
You have to put it in the nose because yeah.
I'll have it go across the bottom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you're going to have to send it to me.
Yeah.
Spell it out very nicely.
I will.
Yeah. Just put the link.
Yeah.
That would be
I will
perfect.
give you the link.
Yeah. And then if they want to hear more about your programs, how do they find that out?
Well, I'm going to release it on Instagram. I think within 2 weeks or so. So
Instagram is the hookup?
Instagram is for me is the hookup now. Yeah, I'm not into all different kinds of software and programs and things. So
Me neither.
we have to start.
How are you on?
We have to start somewhere, right?
How are you on Instagram? I'm a Facebook girl.
Oh, I don't like Facebook.
I don't like Instagram.
Why not? And I hate
And
TikTok.
you know what we just found out? That we're the same age. Ish. We're both in our 40s. Can you believe that? I didn't think so. The other day. Oh, the other day.
We should have started the interview that way. I'm sitting here with Alicia Keys. Hey, fine. I don't want that thing to knock over. Cool beans. Thank you, Jennifer,
Yes.
for being.
Can I call you Jen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's so much better for me.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, girl, I can't wait to do this again.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you for coming to. Thank you for joining us at Divine Chaos, where it's about real life, real talk, real conversation, and a hot damn mess. That was not at all what I had practiced. All right.
Bye.
Don't. Why are you touching it?
I'm just making sure that it's not boiling.
Okay. I'm hot. I'm Pitta. I'm trying to get everything organized and put together, and I have interference, and that will trigger a Pitta. It's like, you know what? Just let me handle it. Let me handle it.
Yeah.
Let me handle it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you relate with that?
When I'm organizing something.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know.
So, all right. Let's test this shit. Okay, I'm gonna end up being like this. Oh, it hurts a little. Like, hey, testing. 1, 2, 3, and here comes the sun.
The sun is saying welcome.
Yeah. What is that? There is a stripe.
This? Oh, this?
This.
Yeah,
This.
there. Oh, this.
There's a stripe. Like this.
No, it's not.
This thing.
Oh.
Okay, let's just test the mic.
Yeah,
Test
it's
the
on
mic.
right now.
It's on. I want to see the sound.
Yeah. Okay, so the name of your podcast is Divine Chaos.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be because it's divinely guided, but life's chaotic, you know? Yeah, there was originally going to be 3 of us. Maru was supposed to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one, it didn't work out. So now it's just me.
Yeah.
So then when I was talking to you, I met you that night after the whole shit went down.
Oh, yeah.
And like everybody's like, it's all done, you know. And then I met you that night, and that's when I had the idea of, you know what, I'm meeting awesome people from all over the world.
Yeah.
I can have them on the show.
You can, yeah, exactly.
You know? And so now I have all these people being like, Christa, I'll be on your show. Christa, I'll be on your show. I'm like, guys, it's like not really a show. It's just me and you having a conversation.
Yeah.
Like we do all the time. And I'm pushing record. Okay.
So,
Everything is where it is.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was hot.
We see the. Okay, no.
What?
No.
What is it? What?
So the back of the chair. I was like, does it matter or not?